Good morning, world. Welcome to another episode of Zendependently Minded. If you are a new or returning listener, I hope you enjoy this episode. If you're interested in more content like this and more podcasts in the future, don't forget to search Zendependently Minded and share with friends and family. The world is in our hands. Let's do something with it. On this episode of MMA Minded, I'm going to do my UFC 245 predictions. So starting off with what I assume to be the third co-main event of this fight, super stacked card in UFC 245, Germaine de Randamie is going to attempt to take the belt from Amanda Nunes, and I think she's going to fail. I think that Amanda Nunes is going to knock her out in the first round. She's beat her once before, but it's also not the same Amanda Nunes. People might say Germaine has gotten better, but I don't see her withstanding Amanda Nunes' onslaught. Amanda Nunes is a better fighter than she was when they fought the first time a couple years ago. Amanda Nunes is going to wipe the floor with Germaine, and she's going to get Performance of the Night bonus. Going on to what I assume to be the co-main event, Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. This is going to be an exciting fight because this is going to be Max Holloway's toughest test to date. He hasn't really faced this much opposition and resistance, someone this tough as an opponent as Alexander Volkanovski in the featherweight division before. I think that Max Holloway is going to win via split decision. It's going to be a very, very close round, and there's probably going to be some outrage from the Volkanovski fans. But I'm a big Max Holloway fan. I'm going to be rooting for him, but I just really hope for his sake he works on his wrestling because Volkanovski is a very suffocating wrestler. He's like the featherweight version of Khabib, just not as good as Khabib when it comes to that smothering, suffocating wrestling. I think Holloway is going to get rocked in the third round. I think he's going to knock down Alexander Volkanovski in the second round with something surprising like a head kick. Max Holloway's going to show some great takedown defense is what I'm predicting. I think he's going to his camp's a really good camp. They've been really good at changing up his style, adapting after taking some losses. I just think like in his last fight against Frankie Edgar, he showed that he had a tougher skin and he worked better on his feints and his footwork after getting outclassed and outboxed against Dustin Poirier in the fight before his last fight. So I think he's going to show some great takedown defense. His camp is going to adapt and help him with that. And overall, I think Max Holloway is going to edge Volkanovski. He's going to feel him out in the first round, get taken down on the ground in the second and third round, and then in the fourth and fifth rounds, he's going to close it out by edging him in striking and octagon control. Just going on quickly to the main event, one that I'm really excited for, very, very excited for, because Colby Covington deserves this shot. It's going to be for the welterweight title between Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman. This, I think, is also going to be a very close fight, and it's going to end in split decision for Colby Covington. I think I might be in the minority here, but I think Colby Covington is going to pull this off, and he's going to become welterweight champion for a long time. I also see him fighting Jorge Masvidal in the future, and I hope he does because I don't like either of the fighters. Colby Covington is going to wipe the octagon canvas clean of Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal does not deserve to be in the conversation for welterweights, but I'm not going to trash Jorge Masvidal. I can do that another time. Colby Covington is going to push a very hard pace on Kamaru Usman. He's going to be throwing a lot of strikes. I'm predicting upwards of about 400 strikes thrown, maybe 150 landed. He's going to push the pace, and he's going to try to stay off the ground with Kamaru Usman because Kamaru Usman, he's a heavy puncher, but he's not active. He doesn't push a hard pace and doesn't have insane stamina like Colby Covington does. So I think Kamaru Usman's going to try to take it to the ground, might successfully take it to the ground and do some of that ground and pound, but Colby Covington is a very good wrestler, one of the best wrestlers in the welterweight division, probably behind Tyron Woodley and Kamaru Usman, better than Ben Askren, better than Jorge Masvidal, better than Nate Diaz. He's just a good all-around wrestler. He doesn't do a lot of ground and pound, but he's going to push pace, and I think he's going to be taking down Kamaru Usman a lot too. I think he's going to push the pace with the punches early in the rounds, and then he's going to try to tire Kamaru out with takedowns, and he's going to go 8 of 13 for takedowns. Usman's going to go 3 of 7, and he's going to continue to try to go for takedowns, but Usman's not going to be too successful. I think he's just going to dominate with the takedowns and the pace and the strikes thrown. But the reason I think it will go split decision is because Colby Covington is going to cut Kamaru Usman, and it's going to cause him to kind of get this rush, and he's going to take down Colby Covington late in the fight, maybe in the 4th or 5th round, and he's going to really ground and pound Covington, and it's going to look really close. Like, the ref is going to be down in their faces, getting really close, thinking about stopping the fight, and that's going to really dictate and change the fight from unanimous to split decision. But overall, Colby Covington is going to defeat Kamaru Usman and become welterweight champion. He deserves it. He's an annoying dude. I'm not a big fan of him, but I want him to beat Kamaru Usman just because he's an American. Just kidding. I would like to see him win because I want to see what a big trash talker like him would do with the strap. See how much he can defend it. That's a stacked division, probably the second most stacked division in the UFC, so we'll have to see how that plays itself out. I'd love to see him fight Tyron Woodley. I'd love to see him fight Jorge Masvidal. Maybe a rematch with Usman when he beats him. We'll just have to see how that goes. But overall, to recap, Amanda Nunes knocks out Germaine de Randamie in the first round, TKO. Max Holloway defeats Alexander Volkanovski via split decision. And Colby Covington defeats Kamaru Usman via split decision. Thank you guys for tuning in on this episode of MMA Minded. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to share with your friends and family. Stay tuned because I'm going to be posting as often and more often than now in the future. Don't forget, the world is in our hands. Let's do something with it.